Hi there, this is Andres Vasquez again with a video trip report, this time Brazil. And this is the Atlantic rainforest or Atlantic forest highlights as we call it. Let's jump right into it. This is the big country of Brazil, and I'm gonna zoom in to tell you where we're going to be. And I'm gonna give you a big briefing geographically of the whole area, because this tour takes place in between these two big cities, Sao Paulo on the left and Rio de Janeiro on the right. Actually, we don't touch Rio really, we just do this loop around these regions here between the two cities. And I would like to show you the topography that we do on this trip because it's quite important. You see, it starts by being in Sao Paulo, but then we go to the coast for 3 days. Sao Paulo is in a plateau, so we drop to the coast for 3 nights, and I spend birding there for 3 nights, and then we move towards the highlands in the area of Itatiaia, reaching about 7,000 feet in about the highest spot that we bird at in this tour. And the tour starts with a very nice ride pre-done towards the coast. And this here is our big man. This is Eduardo, the big part of our tours, really. Such a nice guy. I love him a lot. And so we start by riding from the airport of Guarulhos. Is actually a satellite city that it is now merged into Sao Paulo. And we just go to another kind of satellite city called Mogi das Cruzes here, where there's a couple of wetlands and patches of forest where we bird for the first morning, getting a couple of interesting things. And we start the tour with a beautiful thing like this streamer-tailed tyrant, which is a beast. It's very, very big. It's bigger than the forktail, for instance. We get a couple of endemics here, especially this guy, that it is a Brazilian endemic, a wing-banded hornero, getting it displayed. And this is a Brazilian teal. This wetland holds also this one that was tough to get this time, called a silvered teal, and some chestnut-cap blackbirds. They are beautiful birds that are all in these wetlands. And just on the sides, in some grasses, we have wedge-tailed grassfinch. We got also Spix's spinetail, and even a waxbill that is an introduced bird. But then we moved that day towards the area of Salesopolis, and I decided to go to try a new place that we haven't been in this tour, because it's quite complicated to go in here, and if it is wet we cannot go in. Happily we did this day, and we got this dusky-tailed antbird, which was the big target, a tough bird that this is the first antbird that we got on this particular tour. And we also got Rufus gnat-eater, and a couple other things. The first time we got also these chiffonis, greenish chiffonis. We got also a great tyrant and a few other things there too. But then we moved all the way out towards the coast. And the drive is quite interesting and very, very scenic, especially in this portion here. You can see how it snakes down through the mountains and has very, very beautiful views. And we reach the coast, and we ride along the coast until we get to our final destination, the town of Ubatuba, just out, actually in the outskirts, the Playa de San Lázaro, where we spend the next 3 nights. We birded the lowlands, and the easiest access of the lowlands, or the easiest spot to access in here, is the Folha Seca road. And we birded along this very nice forested road, as you can see here, surrounded by beautiful, lush Atlantic forest. And we visited this particular spot. Is a house from a guy that just likes sharing, that is called Jonas. And in the process, before we got to the house of Jonas that has some feeders, we got things like a ferruginous antbird. We got, well, an array of antbirds also. This is spot-breasted ant vireo. We got gnat-eaters. This black-cheeked gnat-eater is also a very, very beautiful subject. Everybody likes to see it and photograph it, of course. Flame-crested tanagers are kind of weird, are widely distributed. We find them in the Amazon as well. But things like a scaled antbird are quite special from these areas, as well as this blunt-crested woodpecker, which was more than blunt, it was a little green, kind of weird. This beautiful gray-hooded Attila is also a specialty, and the bird of the morning was this black and white hawk eagle that we found in a distant tree. That's why the picture is kind of distant, but it is still was the bird of the day for some, because others chose this one, the red-necked tanager, and Brazilian tanagers as well. Now you can see that we are at the moment at the feeders of Jonas's, where we can see this violaceous euphonia as well, and a ton of other things like green-headed tanager, which is a weird one. It goes from a target to a common bird in very quick succession. Then we had that beautiful festive coquette, and a wood nymph, violet cap wood nymph, black Jacobin. We were lucky to find black Jacobin as well in this tour, and Brazilian ruby is there too. A very special bird from here is also this saw-billed hermit, which is quite unique. But check this out. This footage is from the feeders of Jonas and how crazy they can be. Check it out. Yeah, so green-headed tanagers, red-necked tanagers, olive green tanagers, Brazilian tanagers, ruby crown tanagers, red rump caciques, 2 species of euphonias. Yeah, they all come here. It's quite impressive. Another of the locations that we can reach in these couple of days that we spend in the coast is Finca Angelim, that it is kind of in the north side of Ubatuba, and we visited that for the morning. This area here holds a ton of bamboo, and there's a bunch of specialties of bamboo, together with a couple of more widely distributed birds like this guy here, the yellow-fronted woodpecker. Quite a beautiful bird, very elegant. We actually had the best pictures of any woodpecker in this tour of this guy here. Yeah, the sun was very, very strong on that one. You can see that, yeah, it's a beautiful bird. But in the bamboo, as I told you, we have things like the white-colored foliage gleaner, like a fork-tailed pygmy tyrant, like an eye-ringed toddy tyrant, like this is the case in this one here, and this is the fork-tailed one, fork-tailed toddy tyrant. And we tried a lot for a bamboo wren, which sadly only one could get it. One of the things that everybody did see was this whiskered flycatcher. But our time in the lowlands had kind of come to an end, and the very last morning birding the lowlands, we had to do a long drive from Ubatuba to Parachi, and we birded for just a little bit this bay here in Parachi, and we got South American tern. The first time I managed to get a nice photo of, so I was really happy with what we got there, together with other things like roseate spoonbills, a bunch of herons, a couple of gulls. I think that a brown booby was there as well. But anyways, that was just kind of a logistic stop after a couple of hours of driving that morning, pre-dawn. And the main target of the morning came later on when we birded this Mambucaba area, and it is a small location, but it has this river here, and the sides of this river, the Mambucaba River, are the only known habitat in the world for this particular species that is called a black-hooded anwren, which, well, took us a while to find, but when we got it, we got nice views of. This picture is from a different trip, I have to say, but we got it just as well. We also got this puppy here, is a robust woodpecker. That morning we actually got like 4 species of woodpeckers. This lady bristleform is a specialty from the lowlands. It also climbs a little bit, but we got it there in the lowlands. And we got this yellow-browed toddy flycatcher quite repeatedly. And one of the most beautiful foliage gleaners, black-capped foliage gleaners we got in this day, very nicely. So I wanted to show you also how things are in Brazil sometimes in terms of food. There is this beautiful displays of self-service restaurants that are called fogão. And so you go there and the food is always hot and very nice and a lot of different options for you to have. And it is quick, you eat it quick and then you are ready to go fairly fast, especially in days like this one when we have to cover quite a bit of distance. Because from here, from Mambucaba, we moved a little bit more across the coast, but then we climbed up through these mountains here for like about 4.5 to 5 hours of riding towards our final destination, the park of Itatiaia. And this is our hotel here, Hotel do Ipe. Now we're talking about the highlands, and check out the footage of this hotel. It's very nice. I did this one with my phone, and the place is just a very, very cool place to be. You can see this is one of the sunrises on this tour that we did, and you can see the lowlands in the far side and the mountains on the back side of our hotel. It's a little old looking, but it is just a very nice place to stay. It's just so beautiful. The feeders that the hotel has attract a bunch of different things, like these maroon-bellied parakeets or black-goggled tanagers, together with several species of tanagers. We got also a variable antrike that was not coming to the feeders, but was just next to the feeder, so I can consider it like a feeder bird. The same thing with this toucan. It does not come to feeders, but it's always around the hotel. This is a red-breasted toucan, my favorite rampastos, I would say. Magpie tanagers, the subspecies of southeast Brazil, occurs here, and it is very easy to get photos of. And we got good views also of this subspecies of black-eared fairy. Photo from a different trip though. Also, a widely distributed bird is this long-tailed tyrant, but it is always around the grounds of the hotel, together with dusky-legged ones. Now, if there is a common bird around the hotel that you don't really want too much, is these guans. You can see 50 to 70 in the grounds of the hotel at the time, especially in the cold times when we were there. They depend on feeders a little bit, and so you can tell here how just walking on the driveway, you can see a ton of them. These are the grounds of the hotel. I'm just trying to show you how common these birds are. And this is one of the cabins. But we walked. Apart from the feeders, we walked a lot into the trails, and there were a bunch of things that we found there. And the main one of the day was this guy. We had an awesome time with this pin-tailed manakin. It was my favorite bird of the morning for sure. We saw it repeatedly. I mean, we saw this bird, and we managed to photograph it repeatedly. We also got Planalto wood creeper, a cool, elegant wood creeper, and a very tiny bird here towards the end of the morning, eared pygmy tyrant. During our time there, we visited this very nice viewpoint here, and here I have filmed our group photographing some cool birds like brassy-breasted tanagers and a couple other things that showed up in that time. But I just wanted to show you the valley. That's Eduardo again. Yeah, this is the brassy-breasted tanager. So you didn't understand what it was? This is a beautiful bird, a tangara tanager. We also got the rufous-headed tanager, which is endemic to Brazil. Such a beautiful bird, very elegant. We got a yellow-eared woodpecker, kind of a small woodpecker, but endemic to Brazil. And one of the days from Hotel do Ipé, we needed to go all the way down to the highway and then climb up to another part of the Itatiaia National Park, in an area that is called the Algulas Negras, that it is up this high, as you can see. And this winding road is where we bird for an entire morning in here, reaching the 7,000 feet, as I was telling you. The main bird, the very main bird of the morning was this guy here, green-crowned plovercrest. Is just a beautiful hummingbird, tiny. The great thing is that it lecks, so we know a couple of leck spots, and we can spend some time looking at it and taking a couple of photos. It's a beautiful bird. Now, this is one of the views that we have from the Algulas Negras Road. Just wanted to share with you some of the vistas that we have in this tour. And another photo of the plovercrest with a long tongue. It's never enough to see this bird, really. So we had a couple of specialties up there that are difficult to get and you don't get elsewhere, like this Araucaria titus spinetail, and this one here that is the Itatiaia spinetail or thistletail as well. We also got there a nice tanager that it is this gilt-edged tanager, together with bay-chested warbling finch and buff-throated warbling finch, rufous-backed and vireo, this diadem tanager, another beast of a tanager, very nice. Photo from another tour, just to show you, but it's just beautiful, eh? And then that morning we birded also a drier valley on the way back to the hotel, and we got there a couple of interesting things like sapphire spangled emerald. We got white-eared puffbird, but then we finished up the morning again, a long morning back in the hotel. And in the afternoon we birded the lower parts, and we got a couple of Brazilian endemics. This guy here is called a half-colored sparrow. A couple of other white distributed birds as well, like orange-headed tanager, this one here. But this guy here is a tiny endemic. It's called the hang-nest toddy tyrant. That is also endemic to Brazil. We also got this antshrike. It's a rufous-capped antshrike, one of the favorites for a couple of the clients at the end of the tour. We finished up the tour with this tawny-browed owl. We saw it one of the nights, and it was an awesome bird to find, really on the grounds of the hotel. The last day of the tour came up too early, actually, but anyways, it was an enjoyable tour. We just needed to do the drive between Itatiaia and the airport of Cuiabá to finish the tour there. However, we managed to bird it the morning, and during the morning we got this puppy here, frilled coquette, Brazilian endemic. This picture is from a different trip, but anyways. In the afternoon, we just did the drive back to the airport. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the trip report. See you next time.